Hi folks, this is Denny Lee from Omaha, Nebraska with Ipsa BBQ. Tonight we're preparing some asparagus stuffed bacon wrapped chicken breasts. I have my Marion shirt on tonight. This is my shout out to the high school my daughters went to in Omaha. No hat, so hopefully there's not much glare. I've already prepared 5 of the breasts. I went ahead and washed them. It's very important when you do chicken to make sure you rinse them off, and not too cold, not too hot water. I've already gone ahead and dried them off with paper towels, and then I put my rub on it. After that, I had some asparagus, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do my last one here. These are going to go in the pan overnight in the refrigerator. I'm going to cover them. I always mark the time on the Reynolds wrap for the time that it begins the time in the refrigerator for the marinade. These will probably be in the better part of about 14-15 hours, and then I'm going to take them out, smoke them tomorrow with some cherry and some hickory wood. I want to keep my temp at about 225 to 240, maybe a little bit higher. Probably use my water pan tomorrow with my Weber Smoky Mountain Grill. And then after I get done here, one of the other things that I try and do whenever I'm working with poultry, chicken or turkey, is I always want to disinfect my area of the kitchen that I worked in so that I don't get any cross-contamination with anything else. I was using this cookie sheet here in my initial preparations of the chicken, and so as soon as I get off the air here, I'm going to go ahead and clean that up, put that in the dishwasher, get everything cleaned up so that tomorrow when I take them out of the refrigerator and get ready to smoke them, I'm going to put another dash of my rub on in the morning or in the afternoon tomorrow when I begin to smoke after my temp is up on my grill at 225. So here's what we're going to do here with the chicken breasts. I've already got, they're just basic sized chicken breasts that I got at the butcher this morning. 2 stalks of some asparagus. Cut those to be a little longer than the breasts of the chicken themselves. The only other thing I need besides the chicken and the asparagus is a couple slices of bacon. Went through all but 1 slice of an entire pound of bacon, and this is really a simple recipe and it doesn't take long to cook. Take about 1 hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours. I've already got the front and back of the breast already seasoned up, and I'm going to place the asparagus on the top to go a long ways. I'm going to take a piece of bacon here and I'm going to slide that around and overlap it a little bit. I have my toothpick, my first toothpick with the first slice of bacon. I'm going to penetrate both slices or both ends of the slab of bacon with the toothpick so that they won't become disengaged while I move them from the pan to the cooker and then back to the pan again. I've got my second piece of bacon, and really it's just very simple. You take your chicken breast, just place it on the bacon, slide the bacon over on top, tuck the other side on the top of it, toothpick, and I'm going to go ahead and pierce that. Now this was the last of 6 chicken breasts I'm doing for tomorrow's cook, and I've got all of them there. I'm going to cover this now. These are the 6 chicken breasts. I won't put any more rub on tonight on the bacon itself. I'm going to go ahead and just put those, cover it up with some Reynolds wrap, put those overnight in the refrigerator, and then I'm going to take them out probably about 4 o'clock tomorrow, maybe about 3:30. I like to bring it up to room temperature a little bit, not quite, but a little bit up to room temperature. And I use that to sit on the counter while I'm doing the fire starter, getting the fire ready to go in the smoke, mixing in the cherry wood and the hickory wood. Ideally, I want to have a good smoke base going before I put them on the grill. I may not use my internal temperature probe tomorrow. Instead, I'll probably just use my instant read thermometer to check it during the cook. May also go ahead and spritz it with a little bit of apple juice during the cook. So that's it for about tonight. It's 11 o'clock. These things will be in the refrigerator for, like I said, about 14-15 hours. And tomorrow when I start the cook, I'll bring you back into the studio here of Ipsa BBQ in West Omaha, Nebraska. Shout out again to Marion, to my daughters, one in the United States, one into another continent and time zone and hemisphere. So that's it for tonight. We'll see you tomorrow. This is Ipsa BBQ. Well, good afternoon, folks. This is Denny Lee from Ipsa BBQ in Omaha, Nebraska. When we last left, I had finished up stuffing the chicken breasts with a couple stalks of asparagus and wrapping them in bacon. They had been in the refrigerator for about 14 hours. I took them out about 20 minutes ago. Some of you have asked about the best way to start a fire when you're smoking. This is what I have found to be the best way. I'm going to zoom in here on my chimney starter. What I have on the bottom of that, or you'll see some holes, and those holes are the air intakes. Underneath that, or right above those holes in the interior part of the chimney starter, is the where I roll up 3 sections of newspaper. That becomes the accelerant. I fill the chimney up, depending upon what I'm cooking. I'll fill the chimney up with about 3/4 full of charcoal. I'm just using the regular Kingsford briquettes today. Sometimes I'll fill it up all the way. Now if I pan over here to the right, you're going to see the bottom portion of my Weber smoker. And I have the fire ring there already set in. The charcoal is about 1/3 from the bottom. You'll see 4 wood chunks there. 2 of those are hickory, 2 are cherry. And as soon as I get the fire starter going, and I'm going to know when the fire starter is ready to put into the coals into the fire ring in the smoker, is when those coals up on that top level there all become ashen, and the heat that is generated within that chimney starter will transfer over into the fire ring itself in the fire chamber of the Weber. Now the other thing that I have here ready to go is the middle part of my smoker. Now you'll notice that I have foiled the water pan, and I do that primarily just to make it easier for me to clean up after the smoke has been completed. I've got that filled up about 3/4 of the way with water, and I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. You'll see I mentioned that in my last video about the modification I made to allow the Maverick internal meat thermometer probe and the grill probe to go through that side with a hole and a joint. And I've got that ready to go so that when I do go ahead and put the charcoal from the starter into the fire pit itself and allow those charcoal briquettes and the wood chunks of cherry and hickory to start to catch fire and begin the smoke process, I'll put the middle part with the water pan back on the bottom base of the Weber, and then I'll put the top cover of the Weber back on. I will open all the vents, the 3 on the bottom and then the 1 on the top dome of the lid. I'll have them open all the way. I'll then go ahead and hook up the grill probe for the Maverick with the grill grate itself. Wait till the temperature gets to about 240, and then I'll put the chicken breasts on. Some of you have asked me about my what I have for smokers, and this is my newest acquisition here. This is a barrel smoker, and I call that the depth charge, and it looks kind of like a depth charge. I also call it the Big Daddy. On the bottom there is the one of the 2 air intakes. There is an air intake then on the other side. There's a temperature gauge on the left side. You can see it there sticking out a little bit. There's also another gauge on the top. It has a shelf there, and I use that to prepare what I'm using that smoker, and also to put my grate on for tonight's smoke. And then of course it has at the top, it has the chimney itself for the smoke to get out. I do have a access point on the lid there. You'll see in the kind of the bottom middle of your screen where I can put my temperature probes in, and I've got room in there for 2 different grills, so I could cook conceivably several racks of ribs, a brisket, pork shoulder. I could put a little bit of everything on there. Much bigger capacity than my Weber. And so with that, I'm going to go in and get the chicken ready to go, and I'll season it up one more time with my rub, and then I'll come back after we've got the chicken on, and you can take a look at it from the time I place it on the grill and see how it marinated overnight. You'll see some of the bacon will be shrinking a little bit just because of the wrapping and the rub, and I'm anxious to see the color change of the breasts after it sat in the marinade overnight. So I will be right back. Alright, we still have a little more time before our charcoal starter gets all of the charcoal in there to an ash, and you can see it started a little bit there. Some of the flames are coming up on the sides. But I thought I'd show you a view of the chicken that we did last night. The chicken breasts, each of those are wrapped in 2 stalks of asparagus, 2 slices of bacon around the entire breast. I've toothpicked those in. In the one chicken breast on the far bottom right, you'll see that I have my Maverick temperature probe in, and then directly above that, I'll see if I can get up there for you, there is the temperature probe for my grill. So on my remote digital thermometer, I'm going to have a grill surface temperature, which of course will be higher than the internal temperature of the meat, and the chicken that I am temping is the one on the far bottom right. And they may not be very tasty tonight, but they sure do look good and colorful too. So I will be back after we get that on. I'm going to put the charcoal starter into the charcoal pit right there, and we'll be ready to go. Well, we've already got the chicken breast on the smoker. I've got the remote internal meat thermometer already set up, the grill thermometer set up, water pan's ready to go. We've got some good smoke coming out. The only thing I need to do now is put the dome on the grill itself. I've already got the remote temperature ready to go to take inside with me and follow me around in the house. The most important thing about smoking that I have found is the preparation. And last night took probably about 45 minutes to prepare these, washing them and getting them ready to go for the marinade. This is really the easy part, and if I can do it, anybody can do it. Even though I have smoke all around me, that doesn't necessarily mean that's how it's going to go, because I'm going to put the dome on it. Second thing I need to do is, I think I hear Captain Morgan calling me, so I'm going to be back later. This will take about maybe 2 hours and 15 minutes. I'm going to try and get my smoke, my temperature on the grill up to about 225 to 240, maintain that. Chicken breasts don't take near the length of time that other cuts of meat will do. I've got my, right now the grill itself, the surface of the grill is 167 degrees, and my meat temperature is at 66 degrees. So I'm shooting for an internal temperature on these of 160 degrees. So I'm going to be back. I'm going to put the dome on, and I'm going to be back, and we're going to see how these look in a couple hours. And so until then, this is Denny Lee from Ipsa BBQ in Omaha, Nebraska, the heart of beef country, which is kind of contradictory because we're doing chicken tonight. Alright folks, this is Denny Lee from Ipsa Omaha BBQ, and I've got my ThermaPen here. We're going to temp these chicken breasts. They temp out at 168, so we are ready to cut in. Matter of fact, before we came back on camera here, I went ahead and cut into one, and you can see that we've got the asparagus there, the bacon wrap, our chicken is all done, and we're going to enjoy this. And that's the chicken, asparagus, bacon wrap chicken breast. So from Omaha, Nebraska, Ipsa BBQ, let's eat.